Hey y'all, it's Sade Imore, your favorite expat with nomadic tendencies. If you're new here, thanks so much for stopping by. And if you're an oldie but goodie, hey you, I see you. Welcome back. As you guys can see in the title, I'm going to be discussing why African Americans are leaving the continent of Africa and choosing to return to America. Now, I'm aware that African Americans are moving all over the globe. But since I relocated to the continent of Africa, specifically Tanzania and Egypt, I'm going to be talking from this perspective. So I've seen a few things as well as heard a few things, and I want to give my opinion and reason as to why this is happening. So let's get started. All right. The first reason why African Americans are going back to the United States is because of income. We're running out of money. And that's simply because we did not plan. We saw that people were getting homes for $250, $400, and they were just as big or bigger than the houses that we're living in the States, and spending $1,000 to $2,000 a month in rent for. And so in our heads, we're thinking, you know what, I can go to Africa and I can do that too. But you're not planning properly. You don't have a budget. You don't have a good relationship with money. And you don't understand the culture. So when you get to said country, and you're operating simply on the basis of, will it cost this much in the States, so I don't mind paying this much here. You don't realize that if you don't have money coming in every month, that the savings that you came on is going to go really, really fast. You also find that because you're not working, you're also spending more money, right? Because you have all of this time on your hands and you have to have somewhere to redirect that energy. And because we are consumers, we're used to window shopping and, just hanging out, vibing, chilling, partying, and all the things. We look for reasons to go and spend money. And if you don't change your relationship with the whole idea of being a consumer, then you will indeed run out of money. Now, you may be saying to yourself, Sade, I hear what you're saying, but how can I fix that? Because you said something about a savings, but you didn't say anything about a job. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I'm sure y'all are doing y'all research out there. You'll know that it's very difficult to get a job in many of these countries on the continent of Africa. Like, I know in Egypt you can get a job and you can get paid in like US dollars as well as Egyptian pounds, but y'all, the hours, y'all still gonna be working, humping just like y'all was doing in the States. Y'all gonna be doing that here. To go a little bit further into detail about what you can do income wise is get a job that will allow you to work abroad. There are jobs like that, y'all, but they are far few and in between if you aren't already in or with a business or have a certain skill set where you can kind of function like a digital nomad, right? Because most of the time people are getting work visas, work permits, work contracts to work in these different countries. And they have special benefits that come with that. I don't know what those jobs are. Okay. I don't know what those jobs are. You will have to do your due diligence to find them, but they do exist. 9 times out of 10, y'all gonna have to start your own business. And the problem that we're having is that the United States, nowhere in the education system, maybe in the North, because I'm from the South, I didn't get how to, get classes on how to be my own boss, how to be an entrepreneur. So I'm having to learn things as I go. With that, it takes time. And it's starting to seem like time moving so fast, y'all, that time is almost against us. But that is something that I'm seeing. A lot of people are having to become entrepreneurs. They're having to they're becoming contractors or freelancers, and they're learning these new skills because their degrees don't mean anything here, especially on the continent of Africa. Don't mean nothing, baby. I mean, it may probably in like a nonprofit organization or something like that, but if you're not going to a country where they want to pay you on this continent, then that title means nothing. Nothing. That master's degree means nothing. You may want to go to Spain, go to Europe somewhere, or maybe Asia, where you're going to get paid. But if you come into the continent of Africa, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to start a business in order for you to succeed, whether that's create digital products, whether, that start a YouTube channel. It's hard as ever, but it can be done. Consulting, teaching, there are people who are successful copywriters. They're, teaching people how to do what you do. There are so many options out there, but you're going to have to figure out what works for you and do that. Because if you're coming to get a job, it's not going to work. The second reason African Americans are returning back to the States is because of convenience. Now, some of y'all might be saying, now that's just petty, but it is what it is, right? A lot of these countries don't have a variety when it comes to stores. And if they do have a variety, they may not have what you're looking for. And for some people, that's too much. When you're used to going to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, DD's, Ross, TJ Maxx, Target, Burlington Coat Factory, and then you end up coming over to the continent of Africa and you have like all of these tailor shops and probably like 3 stores that really have what you need when it comes to decor and the type of clothing that you would like to wear. It can be a lot for a person, because some people are just into style, and there is nothing wrong with that. I mean, from house, all the way to, what they have on. Speaking of convenience, just food, we're used to fast food options, Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, Captain D's, and although all of it is crappy because of what they're putting in the food, you still have options, and you may get to a country where you may just have a Subway where you got the sub, but it ain't no way, right? It's not giving it, or you may have a McDonald's and have a KFC, period. If you are funny about food, that could definitely be a problem for you. You want to go to a gas station, but you don't see many around. You can't even pick up a little bag of chips and a juice, right? You probably saying to yourself, Sade, I heard you say something about the gas station and how I may not have that many food options. So what do I do? And I'm going to tell you, you have to do a heart check, get your mind right. Find you, some local markets or something near you and taste some of the snacks that they have. Because what can you do about them not having your favorite snacks? Even if you brought your own snacks, which I suggest, okay? I suggest it. Bring some of your favorite snacks. You're going to run out of them though. See, that's the thing. You're going to run out of them and then you're going to be looking for something else to get. So you just want to, keep that in mind and go ahead, like I said, and get your heart right. Because you may love the country, but they don't have nothing that's convenient for you. You can't even get mail. The third reason African Americans are returning back to the States is because of distance. And I know you probably saying, girl, when they moved to Africa, they knew it was going to be far. But hear me out. West Africa is closer than East Africa. And I found that most African Americans tend to well, I won't say most, I'm gonna say a lot of African Americans tend to be pulled to the eastern side of Africa than the West. And I'm also told that the West is a little bit more less developed than the eastern side. But with that being said, people are really close to their loved ones. And it doesn't really hit you that you're far until that culture shock hits you. If you haven't seen that video, you need to go check it out. You're starting to miss anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, holidays, births, like all of these things, that you were used to doing, going out with your friends and just having a whole vibe, a good vibe. When you're frustrated about something, you can go to your favorite restaurant and eat your comfort food. And here you are now in like this foreign place. You don't like the food. You can't wrap your head around what's going on with the people because you don't understand the language, so you don't trust anybody. You just frustrated. And that distance will get to you. So I can, no judgment. I can understand why people return home, because it's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to be about it. And that experience is the best teacher. So I can hear you saying, Sade, I heard you talk about distance, and I'm trying to figure out how I can still move abroad and possibly not worry about that. Well, the only thing I can tell you is to move closer to home. So like you can move to Mexico, maybe the Caribbean islands, just in case anything happens. Tickets will 9 times out of 10 be cheaper than if you were coming from the continent of Africa. And so you can still get that experience, travel, to Africa as a vacation and then come back. That there are options out there for you. And if you're one of those people who need your family for everything, like you can't do anything because y'all do everything together, then distance will be an issue for you. The fourth reason African Americans are moving back to America is because of assimilation. Okay, they're having a very difficult time adjusting, not just due to the language barrier, because y'all know how it is when you go into like the nail salon and the Vietnamese, usually they're the ones doing your manicures and pedicures and stuff, but they're talking in their foreign tongue, their native tongue, and you don't know nothing they're saying. You know how irritating that is and triggering it is, because it's like you could be being very disrespectful right now, but I don't know what you're saying. So it kind of puts you off, but at the same time, you want to get the service. It just puts you in this weird space. That's how it is when you don't understand the native tongue in the country that you're, or that you've chosen to live in. Not only that, you're just used to having certain freedoms, like freedom of speech. It is now getting to a point, but you still got to be careful, where they are able to voice their opinions about their president, and things that are going on, within the government. We don't hold our tongues about stuff, despite what you may see on the media and how some African Americans are. It's just in us to speak out when there is injustice, when things are not going right. And a lot of times it's mistaken as us being spoiled or just wanting things to go our way, when in fact we have this keen sense on, order and structure and what's right and what's wrong. Again, I'm not speaking for every individual person in the community, because I know that there are good and bad people within the community in general, as a whole. But I'm just saying that majority of the people are decent and were raised like they got some common sense. And we just don't stand for it. So culturally, we bump heads when it comes to things like that. Speaking up causes a problem or makes people feel a certain kind of way. And so with that being said, people leave. Now you're probably saying to yourself, Sade, are you telling me that I need to be okay with people scamming me and treating me how they want to treat me? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm telling you is that this is chess and not checkers. And that you're going to have to train people how to treat you properly. If you see that this person is trying to misuse you or get over you, then you need to go ahead and stand 10 toes down and let them know what's up. Not in a disrespectful manner, but be 3 steps ahead of them so you know how to function and operate. You can really get into some entanglements business-wise and personally when you really don't understand the culture. That's why it's important for you to immerse yourself just a little bit into the culture. Befriend at least 1 or 2 locals so that way you can connect and have healthy relationships and be able to function. That will help you with the culture shock. Y'all gotta put your big girl and big boy pants on in these African streets, because people are not going to be held to the court of law, as you think they should. The standards are not as high, probably as you want it to be. And unfortunately, you have to be okay with that. You can't worry about what they got going on. You got to worry about what you have going on, and move with wisdom. The next reason African Americans are returning to America is because of crime. I don't think that African Americans really thought about the possibility of dealing with crime as much as they should have. Like, many people came with their guards down because in America, everything is black and white. So when you're dealing with racism, unaliving and things of the sort, is usually a black and white situation. And so to come to a continent where majority of the people look like you, and then to have to deal with unalivings is wild, right? It's crazy. We heard about many situations that happened with African American women and some men, either being jailed or, being unalived. So yeah, many of them let their guards down because we were the same color. And, due to that, they were taken advantage of. It's just a sad, shame. But it's the truth. You may be saying, Sade, how am I supposed to deal with that? Because I can stay in the US and deal with it. You can. But I'm going to say to you, you don't have to come with an attitude and be defensive and be aggressive with people, but keep your guard up and function as you would in the States, because that's wisdom. Truly it is. You deal with that situation by, like I said in another video, not flaunting all of your necklaces and your rings, and don't come looking like you've got a whole bunch of money. I don't really know, what to say, because you will see them with some Louis Vuitton on and some Gucci on. It'd be fake, but they'll have it on. A lot of them, all the way down to the sandals. It'd be too small, but they're gonna be dragging them right on through that dirt. You will see that. Yeah, just don't let your guard down, y'all. Keep your guard up, move in wisdom, and I think you'll be okay. Well, that's all I have for the day. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss when I post a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Shalom.